You're listening to Hot Sauce Sports with Mo Cohen, Peeze and Racy, and Terry Tam.
I now know that I'm on with a spy, depending on who's the captain of this ship. That's probably a bad thing if this podcast is supposed to go viral, isn't it?
Cordero Patterson like grabbing some shanks, gentlemen here, and I quote, "I'm a grown man. I don't need nobody blank in my balls, my face."
In my teenage years, I'd get back from high school, I'd smash 2 pizza pockets. Carmelo Anthony never learned you can't live life just smashing pizza pockets.
Because he lost a double bet, what I did is I cut a jalapeno in half, and I filled it with hot sauce. So he's going to have to slurp this down.
Why you give me a fucking banana, dude? I'm not eating a banana. I'll rather piss in my mouth than eat this.
Okay, so there we go. Stop stalling. Let's go. Go.
Now, here are your hosts, Mo, Terry, and Peasy.
Welcome, everyone. This is Hot Sauce Sports, episode 11, gentlemen.
I know, we made it past.
Yeah, we made it.
We made it past our Super Bowl parties. I'm the host, Peeze Delarice. I didn't eat as much as I wanted to in Super Bowl party. I'm joined by Terry Tam. Terry, how would your Super Bowl feast go?
It went well. A lot of hot dogs, steamies, a lot of tacos, pizza, buffalo wings, sliders, fried chicken in waffle sliders.
Nice.
That was pretty good.
Legit.
Not bad. That's pretty much it. A lot of dessert, and I ordered McDonald's coffee at the end. Yeah, that's what I felt. Yesterday I barely ate, and I was so dehydrated.
Yeah, that happens. I was talking to Eagle and Duke, actually, our producers. They joined me at my place for my party.
Oh, the place I wasn't invited
Place
to.
you were totally invited to and didn't come to.
I maintain my innocence.
So I was ready. I was ready to pig out. I've been really good since last April. I've been really, really careful with my diet. Like, fuck it, I'm doing this. And I had 2 chicken wings and a slider, and I was done. And then on top of that, my fiance had gastro. And so she bravely came down to greet people for a second and got into conversation with our friend's girlfriend, and then she instantly ran away to go vomit. So in times
How
where
ugly is your friend's girlfriend?
What?
How ugly is your friend's girlfriend?
I mean, listen. All I know is if I had to swipe, depends on how many drinks.
Depends on what time of night it is.
No, so then, like, it was just for me, it was very disappointing. I really wanted to eat, and then the game wasn't like
Super good.
incredible. It wasn't terrible like people were saying.
It was awful. There were
to you.
Well, when I rewatched the game twice, and I realized that the first point scored was in the fourth quarter. It was like
The first touchdown.
the first touchdown was in the fourth quarter. So at one point it was 3-3 in the fourth. It was the most boring game ever.
6-3.
Like, if you love defense, it was a fun game to watch.
Interesting stat. The last quarterback to throw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl is Nick Foles. So last year. That's how many touchdown passes there were this year. Nick Foles, one of the guys we'll talk about on today's show. We have a great show planned. We have actually Rob Schremp. I know him of the guy I always traded every time I had the New York Islanders, because I always played as the Islanders in NHL.
Why?
There's something about their terrible jersey that I love.
I like the blue, the all blue.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's beautiful. A lot of people don't like it.
So long you traded away, Schremp?
Every time, because I would always get so many prospects, and I was always amazed by these like Eastern European, like made up computer generated prospects.
Kuznetsov are in.
Yeah, and Kapanen. Anthony Kapanen.
It's a real person. Real person.
Yeah, he was incredible.
He sounds like a disease.
Yes,
he sounds like the antidote to a disease.
but also like the Islanders jersey logo. The island on it just looks like New York took a shit. It's having trouble digesting its Super Bowl dalliances. The Miami Hurricanes recruited their new punter.
Yes.
Because Jeff Fiegel's son, who was the punter last season, was atrocious, Terry.
Jeff Fiegel's son, for real?
Yeah, he did not do the lineage well. Like, when your dad's a pro punter, you should at least punt for 30 yards a punt.
Or maybe
Dude, can you get me Fiegel's average punt distance this year?
Jay Fiegel?
Yeah.
Or his son?
His son.
I'm on it.
Not this season. This season, Fiegels didn't actually punt. His son did for the
Jay Fiegel or Jay Feely?
Fiegels.
Fiegel's the quarterback.
And so, anyway, I don't know if you've seen this dude. This dude, his name's
I did see
Lewis Headley.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Dude's jacked. He's 6'4", 245, all tired up. He looks like
Did
he
he play
escaped
rugby?
from every prison. No, he's from Australia,
Okay. So you played Aussie rules footy?
I would imagine.
Okay.
And apparently, so he's young for Australian punters because nobody understands the school system. And, like, everything's weird from Australia,
No, but in
right?
Australia, 25 is actually old because they're done university like around 20.
And so do they also live longer?
Yeah.
Oh, then yes, then 25 years old. So he's coming here. He looks all sorts of 38. He does not look like he's 25 years old.
No.
And he's super jacked. How many yards per punt?
So Jeff Fiegels is the son of Zach. Zach Fiegels who we're looking at, right?
Son
Yeah.
of Jeff Fiegels, exactly.
Right, so-
I clearly didn't remember his name, dude.
44 punts. The longest was 52, but the average was 38.6.
50.6. But what's interesting about this giant jacked punter, Lewis Hadley,
Yeah.
his average punt distance is 38.9 yards. So, but like, when you look like that, are you allowed?
Different ball, though.
Yeah. So
Like the Aussie rules footy ball is a lot bigger.
does that make it more or less aerodynamic?
And there's no blocking, so you have less time.
No blocking, so it's like, yes, okay. No one.
Yeah.
I thought it was like no one was coming to block because nobody knows
No,
Australian.
he would have like a few guys running after him,
Mhm.
but he, as a punter, unless it's like when they score the try, then there's the thing they kick through after.
Yeah.
But they don't. You choose where you want to kick it from.
Which
So
makes it
obviously
entirely
he's gonna
different.
choose. He's gonna
The
choose
best possible spot.
That's it.
That was one of the most viral stories that hit early in this week,
Thanks,
along with, of course, 21 Savage not being American. When pressed on it, he answered, "That's total bollocks." Just straight up.
Okay, I think we're gonna have to announce it. You're not doing any more dad jokes.
All right, impossible.
None of that shit.
That's how we're doing it. That's how we're doing it. Dads are nothing.
Cheap jokes.
And with that, we get to our news of the
He's
week.
in his mid-20s?
25. Louis. Why?
Mustache. Huge mustache.
It's like the I am 12 in Cuba.
Lewis Hadley, by the way, is 25. Like Bartolo Colon is on a diet. So the Super Bowl came and passed, as we talked about. How have you hated every second of the reactions and celebrations?
I've hated everybody having the same opinion. So boring, no touchdowns, whatever.
Yeah, and also another thing is I feel like everyone has the same opinions they had before the game regarding Montana and Brady. I hate the Montana and Brady conversation.
It's the stupidest.
Because nobody learns anything. Everyone just stays in their camp, right? So my thing is
no one ever switches.
My thing is it doesn't
It's not like
actually
politics.
it doesn't actually matter who's better, right? Because they're not playing against each other.
No, it matters, man.
To who? To actually two people in the world who I don't think care.
No, it matters to the diehard Niners fans and the diehard Pats fans.
Okay, but so like, but how does it change your life if other people don't agree with you?
It changes them.
Okay, so
How? I don't
in
know.
that vomit fest, the big thing is like, oh, but you know, Montana never lost, right? That's the thing they say they never lost
It never lost in the championship.
in the championship. They never lost in the Super Bowl. But so like that means if let's say Brady goes on to win 10 Super Bowls.
And he's lost 3.
And he's lost 3. Does that no? It doesn't matter, right?
Doesn't
If
matter.
he wins 10, what about 15? What about 20?
That's it.
What if he wins 28?
When is the number? When is the number?
When's the
end?
number high enough that he lost a couple of games? By the way, and he didn't lose the game. A team wins
A
or
team,
loses the
yeah.
game, right? Like it's a
another
team
thing is
achievement, right?
People always made the same argument. It's like, who's better? Like, oh, he beat him. Like a quarterback beat another quarterback, but they're never on the field at
At the same time, yeah.
Never.
And these two definitely have never
Definitely
been.
weren't even in the same league at the same time.
Correct.
So I don't know. It's a dumb argument for sure. It's just to keep people interested. But I don't see how you can go to Montana's side.
According to Skip Bayless,
Okay.
this championship actually diminishes Tom Brady's
he's
reputation.
Worse. He's worse.
Okay, Skip Bayless is looking for. I just saw him tweet. He was talking about how LeBron has no leadership because he sat 3 seats away from his team.
Yo, he just lost some leg room. When you book it on a plane, don't you book the extra leg room? And then like they make you pretend like you're gonna help when there's a plane crash. You know that shit's going down. You're not. You put that mask on yourself first.
Mr. Moneybags over here getting the expensive
Always.
premium
Always.
seats on the plane.
Hey, listen, man. I've been fat for a long time. I have to get the extra room. Patriots fans also annoying.
Yeah, always. But they've always been.
But like, so like the worst is like they're vindicated of like, yeah, see,
Finally.
yeah, you were favorites. What do you want?
They weren't favorites right away.
Correct, but they
They
were
opened
favorites.
as underdog.
We have actually a brawl between Patriots fans.
That's crazy.
Who didn't agree? I guess.
I don't think I saw this one.
The dude in the Gronk jersey goes down like a stack of potatoes.
I love watching fights, man. It's so weird. Wait, 9-9? I used to be addicted to World Star Hip Hop.
Yeah, but now they just post like word soccer mom memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think it's because they're getting into trouble with the fights that they would post.
I used to love the fight comp of the month.
Yeah, fight comp, but they still do it on their site.
Fight comp
I
of the
think.
week there. World Star, I loved it. I tried to post one video on World Star and they never took it. It was a video.
It was good, bro.
It was a video of this crazy drunk woman downtown pissing on the floor in the middle of the street in the middle of the day.
It sounds like Montreal.
Yeah,
It
sounds like a Wednesday.
And I'm just like, I finished the gym, so I'm watching her. I'm like, fuck, this girl's weird. And then all of a sudden, she goes behind like this bush, but like the street is here. Everybody on the street can see her. Behind the bush, there's a restaurant. She pulls her pants down, and she just starts pissing. I wish I still had the video.
I was at a friend's house and I saw a woman
was
piss
disgusting.
in her own backyard. That was interesting because her house was right there. She left her house to go piss her
Okay,
backyard.
wait. So sometimes in the cold weather, you go. As soon as I get out of my car, I have to piss,
Yeah.
and it hits me so bad that I can't make it to the house.
So even though you're in your driveway,
Yeah, I'll piss on the side of my house. I
And-
can't
and-
hold it in.
and does your wife wonder why there's this incredibly frozen lake leading down to the garage?
She doesn't know why the house is suddenly turning yellow.
Slowly but surely. Slowly but
I don't know.
surely.
It's rotting
So the White House visit's another topic of that they keep talking about.
every year.
But like, so now is the White House visit even interesting because
Stupid.
there's no
If you
there's
want
no fast food anymore because
go.
the staff is back.
It's true. No
So
more.
Oh
I'm not
man,
down.
I can't wait for that storyline when it comes out because you know that the Patriots are gonna get the best of feasts.
I feel like it's
It's
just
super
I
fancy.
feel like just Brady and Robert Kraft are gonna go.
no,
Well,
It'll be
no,
the most
no,
awkward.
no.
It'll be like at the giant table. You know, like how, like in the old movies in the '80s, there'd be like a date where like Michael Keaton's
One
sitting
guy's
on one side, yeah, and there's no conversation because they can't hear each other.
A few people have said they're not going to go. I think Brady's going to go. He's always been a Trump supporter. I'm
Yeah.
sure Kraft is too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
LeVar Ball back in the news. It doesn't appear that Antonio Davis will be traded after the Lakers basically offered their entire franchise.
is the trade deadline tonight?
It's
Yeah.
tomorrow night.
So when this podcast is
or tomorrow
posted,
afternoon. Yeah.
it will have the deadline will have passed.
Yeah. So
I think so.
according to Low of the Low Post, according to Wojnarowski, all the
Top.
NBA insiders,
Yeah.
Adam Schefter, by the way, who's now an NBA
Yeah, yeah.
insider, don't know how that happened,
But
but
guy's always he's always in the know.
yeah, it doesn't look like he's moving. And honestly, the Lakers couldn't have offered more, and it was a kind of
Because the
offer.
Pelicans were asking for 4 first-round picks.
Yeah.
4 first rounds, but just in general, it was about 6 to 8 picks in general.
6
that's-
to 8 picks plus those 3 guys.
Yes.
Like
But
who
well,
would make
3
that trade?
Well, to be honest, the draft picks aren't as valuable in the NBA as as most other leagues,
But
and
that's
especially
why.
if those are the 4 LeBron years, they won't be good draft picks anyway.
It's true.
Is the
Good
thinking,
point.
right? So like, it's not.
No,
it's
but the
not a
Pelicans,
terrible.
the Pelicans wanted those picks. For the Lakers,
But I'm saying for the Lakers, those picks, if they hold on to them,
that's useless.
like,
Almost
so what? You're gonna
useless.
draft 28th? Like,
Yeah.
who's the last 28th pick that was
There's
awesome?
a reason why there's like 3 rounds in basketball.
2.
2 rounds. There
Yeah.
you go.
Did you guys catch the game last night where the Pacers completely dismantled
Did I
the Lakers?
ever?
Terry, you're a Pacers fan.
I did. Didn't watch the game though.
Did you hear about the chants?
Yeah, the chants are awesome. I loved it. I love
LeBron will trade
the
you.
one on McGee's amazing though. You're not good enough.
Well, he's not worth trading.
He's not with it. That's a good point.
He actually, the Pelicans said, "What about JaVale McGee?" And then the Lakers were like, "Oh yeah, you want him?" Then they just laughed and hung up. It's very disappointing.
Oh, yeah,
Magic
you
is
want
like,
him?
"The fuck?"
You want him? ... Red. He left him on red.
They left him on red.
You want McGee?
LeVar Ball was very critical though of the Lakers
guy's
organization's
shit,
whole
but,
step of the way. Honestly, as soon as LeBron, and I don't actually think LeVar Ball is that bad of a player. He's a good distributor.
Lonzo Ball.
Sorry,
Lonzo.
Lonzo Ball. LeVar Ball,
Ball.
never beaten one-on-one.
Never
So
been a one-on-one.
Lonzo Ball, I don't think he's that bad a player, and he's a very good distributor of the ball. But when LeBron got there, it's like, what do you need another distributor for?
That's it.
You already have basically the best point guard who doesn't play point guard in the league.
In the league.
So
I'm
And-
surprised they were giving up Kuzma and those.
and the fact that we were willing to give up Kuzma and Ingram, I said, you know what? Well, this is
Yeah.
the trade. Like they don't have more to give.
No,
like,
zero.
but so the reports is they're willing to hold on to hear the Celtics offer in the offseason, which makes sense, because
But didn't he say he doesn't want to go to Boston, or his dad say he doesn't want to go to Boston?
So there's a report that says that that's not one of the 4 teams he would sign an extension with.
Because of the way they treated Isaiah.
Makes sense.
Yep.
It was pretty shitty what they did.
Of course.
Well, I mean,
But it's a business,
Yes,
though.
and no,
You
but
have to
Isaiah
bet- you have to
Thomas is
bet
not
it-
that good. Also,
Yeah, you have to
he
bet
wasn't
it-
that good before.
No,
he
he
had
was a
one
good
great
player.
season. He
Yeah,
was
he's
a
a good
very
season.
good player, but he's
Obviously, Kyrie is better than Isaiah Thomas. We're
Yes.
never going to deny that. But it was still, it's like somebody gives you so much. The same thing with the Raptors. You got a better player in Kawhi Leonard for sure, but DeMar DeRozan was your city.
What was weird about the Raptors situation was how the town panicked after DeMar DeRozan was traded. I'm like, he was traded for one of the top 5 players in basketball. Right?
easy.
Like
Like,
it's
no
not even
problem.
close. LeVar Ball says that if his son was going to go anyways, it's away from that terrible coach Luke Walton because he hates Luke Walton.
Luke Walton's the worst coach.
Luke Walton, by the way, took over a terrible team. So I mean, let's give him a second.
Luke Walton has to coach your son.
And he has to coach LeBron James, which is the coach killer of all coach
Yeah,
killers.
big time. You don't need a coach at that point.
And he said he'd be down to send his son to Phoenix,
Oh, nice.
where he would
He has his
become the
vacation home.
most irrelevant player.
Well, I mean,
Ever.
who would he be playing with there? Booker?
Booker.
That's next question.
Yeah. Austin Matthews, he's getting what's his, though. The Toronto Maple Leafs decided to do right by
He
him.
screwed me over
Why did he screw you over?
because I have him in my fantasy league and we have a cap.
Oh,
So I have McDavid, Connor. I have Connor McDavid. I have Austin Matthews, who just signed $15.2 million.
it's an average of 11 per year.
Yeah,
So you need to hold on to him.
but
if
his
it's
cap
a
is 15.2.
Yeah.
His cap hit. So I'm fucked. And I have Marner. Marner's gonna get paid next year.
Yeah.
Marner right now they're asking for 11, and Toronto wants to give him 9, so they'll probably meet at 10.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is the way this contract is structured. The last team to put that much value towards 4 players is Pittsburgh Penguins.
Mm-hmm.
When they had Crosby, Malkin,
Letang,
Kessler,
and Fleury.
Letang. And at the time, while Crosby and Malkin signed for less, they each signed for about 15% of the cap. This is only expected to be 14% of the 2019-20 cap.
And-
So it's actually a well-structured deal
For sure, yeah.
to maintain all this talent.
But
in Toronto.
they also just kept Nylander. They have Morgan Riley on. They have Freddie Anderson, who's going to be requiring a lot of money. They have
Mitch Marner, like you said.
Mitch Marner's going to get paid. You still have Marlowe. You have Tavares. They have big money on the salaries on the book. So it's somebody's going to have to go, and it's probably going to be somebody like Nylander. Marlowe, you assume he's going to retire or sign somewhere else.
My guess was Marlowe and Nylander. Just looking at the cap table, it looked like those contracts were built to be moved.
That's it. If you're able to keep Tavares, Marner, Morgan Riley, Anderson, and Matthews, you can be looking at a Stanley Cup run almost every year.
Now I love collective bargaining agreement talk.
Yes, obviously.
But what's more interesting, the most interesting story of the week has to be what's going on with DeAndre Francois.
It's so stupid.
It's the most confusing thing too, because this is the storyline. Is for those who haven't read or seen it, he was accused of physically and verbally abusing his ex-girlfriend by his ex-girlfriend, who then recanted it on Instagram.
Yes.
Her family
Then
came out and said, "Oh no, that's not true. The shit she said actually happened."
So
and
how
it is her account has since been hacked, and that wasn't her who wrote it.
So I think that her family sees a money opportunity and is trying to take advantage of him.
I mean, so here's the thing: the one part that you're gonna instantly regret is when you actually hear this clip, Terry. Go ahead, Eagle, play the clip.
I want shit in my fucking house.
Stop hitting me.
Damn, you fucking idiot.
Stop hit.
I don't give a fuck.
Hitting me in my fucking
I don't give a
face.
fuck. Stop throwing shit in my fucking house. Fuck wrong with you? What? Throw it again so I can beat your ass.
I don't give a fuck.
Throw it again.
Move. Stop fucking
that's
hitting me
not
in my
Fuck you. I'm gonna
face.
hit you in your face every fucking time. Throw something else.
All right.
What?
So Terry, do you want to take the moment to recount your previous statement?
Yes, I apologize to the family of his fiance and girlfriend.
The ex-girlfriend of DeAndre Francois says the Instagram account was hacked and stands by her claims.
Her name is Diamond.
Yeah, not Diamond Dallas Page.
All right.
In case anyone was wondering that.
That was the last time someone that with the name Diamond was not a stripper.
There was a stripper bowl this weekend in Atlanta. Did you see this?
I did not.
Stripper bowl, and I don't know how many strippers there were, but they made $3 million.
That's amazing.
25 strippers made $3 million. They each left with $120,000 cash in one night's of work.
And herpes.
Probably, but in the States, you can't touch.
Oh, okay.
Unless you're paying
That's
a lot
some
more,
good
so they
money.
made more money and herpes.
That's some good money.
Honestly, if you've been to Atlanta, you know without a stripper bowl was bound to happen. So the thing is, even if it was recanted, like if you're the Seminoles organization and you hear the statement that I'm going to hit you in your face every time.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it never happened, the fact that it's a verbal threat.
You're telling us that you've done it before.
Yeah. And even like if it's just supposition and we don't know for sure, it's still a threat. You still cannot threaten people.
You know what?
With,
when I
with
was
physical violence.
when I was reading her statement, I was like, okay, this girl either has Stockholm syndrome or like she really tried to get some guy's money and she realized she fucked up. And as I was reading it, I'm like, I feel like she wasn't writing it, you know. And then when I heard her family come out and say, "Oh no, it's not true," like everything what she said before is true, I'm like, okay, they're trying to get involved, so which means they want some money out of it.
So here's the thing. So everyone thinks that
Because we all know NCAA athletes don't get paid, right?
Well, I mean, he doesn't get enough yet. He gets probably more than they claim. But the thing is that he doesn't play for Alabama. But the thing is, with DeAndre Francois, everyone's thinking, well, once he gets to the NFL, he's going to make all this money. I mean, we even doubt if he can hit her in the face because his accuracy isn't great. So there's no doubt that he even will make the NFL to make that money.
On the nose.
What this actually it turns out to be a lot worse for Florida State because they've really missed out on signing quarterbacks, recruiting quarterbacks.
Like Jalen Hurts?
Yes, but also the 6 hours ago was reported that they missed out on Lance Lejeune, who signs with Maryland. So they're really in a tough situation where they might go into 2019 without a top tier, top recruited quarterback.
It's true. It seems like they always have problems with quarterbacks.
They do.
Jameis Winston has been their last success.
And of course, he also had his issues with
Crab Shack,
attacking women.
stealing crabs.
Yeah, stealing crabs.
By the way, we're about 3 weeks away from Crab Shack, me and you.
All right,
Where are you
man.
guys going?
We're doing Savannah, Georgia.
Oh, it's true.
We're going to have to do a live set
Do it.
from
Yeah,
Savannah,
man,
You're
Georgia.
absolutely.
going to the stripper bowl.
Yeah, obviously. Yet the whole thing happened with DeAndre Jordan, not the most regrettable thing necessarily, because Jimmy Ricketts of the Chicago Cubs, the owner of Chicago Cubs, have you read any
Yes.
of the emails leaked by
I read
Splinter
a
News?
few of them. There's a few long ones that I kind of skimmed through.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's always what's said at the end.
Mhm.
Like,
His punctuation is
yeah,
very
it's always
regrettable.
like they.
Mhm.
Like, there's a bunch of things.
So
And
for those who aren't clear,
Yeah.
Splinter News came out with a bunch of emails that were sent within the Cubs organization that were like one of them was insane. It was actually a serious like memorandum
Yeah.
where he was worried about people of Muslim faith working for Homeland Security because of what happened in 9/11, therefore implying that anyone
He was also tying
who's
in
a Muslim therefore is a terrorist.
Yeah.
He was also tying in other stories like from like the recent shootings that had happened by Islamist extremists and stuff. It was
Like the
really,
white guy
really
in
racist.
Vegas. That's true. That must have been the Muslim guy too.
There's another conspiracy theory. I don't mean that.
Okay. Yes.
I mean, I think that there was a guy shooting somebody there.
It couldn't have been a white person, obviously.
It was a white person.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was that guy.
okay.
I just think that there's other stuff involved.
He wasn't trying to hide it though. I mean, if you looked at some of the emails that he had sent, he was actually saying like share this.
I feel like in those emails he was saying things like he was just like as if he was having a conversation at a coffee shop,
Yeah.
and it was like common knowledge. And maybe that's the worst part is that now it's almost like it's okay to say things like that in the States.
Well, so the thing is, I want to say
Not to be too political.
it's not going to work because I want to say that it's from a different time.
Yeah.
The dude's 7 years older than my dad.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, he's
I've
not that
never
old.
heard my dad say anything like that. That's the craziest shit I've ever
I
seen.
will. I
You know.
can't agree.
It's like and the thing is, especially the fact that dude put it pen to paper.
Yeah.
That's the craziest. Like you need to know.
But that's what I'm saying is that it's so normal now to talk like that. That it's become okay. He was very comfortable talking like that.
Mhm.
Or maybe just to say, maybe when Obama was in office, you weren't comfortable talking like that. You know, the
Yeah.
fact that he's saying he's like, oh, Obama admits to being a Muslim. Like, what do you mean admits to being a Muslim? Like was he trying to hide it at some point? I mean, I don't understand. And it's like it made it way too comfortable, and it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
I find it very scary.
Well, a guy who's less scary, a guy who has been in the least amount of fights of any hockey player ever, is Rob Schremp.
You think so?
How many fights did he have in his career?
I saw two but
points.
I will double check.
We will ask him. Why don't we just ask him?
We'll ask him.
We're going to get to all sorts of interesting stuff with Rob Schremp, including his new endeavors since his New York Islanders days.
And you can subscribe. Yeah, you can always subscribe.
They get the shows, then they choose to listen to it or
subscribe
not.
on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then follow us at Hot Sauce Sports on every social media.
No one, you can't be oversubscribed because that's not a word.
Exactly. So subscribe just the right amount of time.
Be a word. Welcome back. For those who were not paying attention, you'll notice, those watching will notice a quick change in
Uniform.
Yeah. And Terry and
This
I.
is our interview gear.
Yeah, we said, you know what, we're going to step it up. We're dressed like slobs. Actually, I think we were better dressed.
Probably.
For the first segment. And weirdly, the third segment will change because we totally recorded these in order. We're joined, of course, by Rob Schremp. He is former NHL player.
Yes.
Played with the Edmonton Oilers, played with the New York Islanders. He played in the KHL as well, the AHL. One of the more skilled players playing. He's going to talk to us a little bit later about how he maybe played a little out of his time. Rob Schremp, first of all, my dude, how's it going? How's retirement treating you?
Hey, buddy, how you doing? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. Retirement's been great. Yeah, it's been really cool. It's a cool experience as I have a 1-year-old daughter. So the last year has been filled with a lot of new surprises and different things of different avenues of life per se. Yeah. So being a father and having retired from a sport that I played my whole life, a lot of big changes, I guess, in my life. So it's been a cool year.
And obviously you retired. You had a very good career. I mean, you had a decent career in the NHL. To me, the Rob Schremp that I loved and that I appreciated the most was the one when he played the London Knights, and those dominant London Knights teams. And what was it like? What was it like playing on those teams, knowing that you actually had a chance to win the Mem Cup every single year and at least the O?
Yeah, no, it was really cool. The time in London was amazing. Playing for that franchise was sick. Dale Hunter's a brilliant hockey guy in the sense of producing winning teams, and he knows how to win. So getting the chance to see him coach firsthand was, definitely unique. Watching the way he would, he would mess around as a coach with the playoff series, just as if he would when he was a player. I think if you guys remember Dale as a player, he was he was an agitator, and he was in your face, like hard-nosed. One of the toughest SOBs in the game. Like, he had 1,000 points, and he had 3,000 penalty minutes. So he was pretty badass when he played. Yeah. And he coached, he wasn't that way when he coached. He wasn't, like, really fierce or fury. He didn't say much, but, like, after the game, like, during the series, like, during, like, a press conference, like, he would always do these little things that were, like, I don't know, kind of like borderline gutless, but it would be just to kind of screw with the other team. And, like, as a player on the team, you realize what he was doing. It was effective. So he would do a lot of different things to win, and playing for him in that organization. Mark, his brother, is also a really smart hockey guy. Guys like Jim McKellar. These people were involved in London Knights. So London they keep winning and winning. They always have winning teams. They know how to win. They know how to bring it out of the players. So it's a cool city, as they have, basically 9,500 people every single game at junior. It makes it really fun to play there. So that's why they get a lot of winning teams. A lot of guys really want to go there. So they get the best of the best, and they've earned it. They really have.
Just looking at your stats, 145 points in 57 games in 2005 when you guys ended up winning the Mem Cup. The year before that was the team that I was talking about, the Stack team with Danny Sevret and Corey Perry. And Boland. Boland's a nasty player too, and to think that those guys had great careers, and so did you. It was crazy to see you guys all in the same lineup and the domination that you guys had. It was impressive for sure.
Well, and to think the team that we had, like at the junior level, it's not easy to do. It takes a lot to build that team, and Mark Hunter built it. So he built that team. The year before we won the Mem Cup, we lost the Western Conference Finals to Guelph in Game 7. It was crazy. Yeah. We were actually like one of those. They were big time underdog, and they pulled out a 7-game series. I think the biggest, one of the biggest things I remember was Kevin Klein. He was a defenseman. He had 3 hat tricks in a 7-game series as a defenseman. it was nuts. So we ran into that. Ryan Callahan, great NHL career now. He played unreal in playoffs. I mean, they had just a couple things that went right. Martin St. Pierre played out of his mind. Few things went right for them, and it's a playoff series. We should have won the series. We didn't. We went game 7. We lost at home, and it was very frustrating. And then that was the next year we came in and we had that Memorial Cup year. We were all really, really mad from the year before because we knew that we should have been the better team and we should have won. And then we kind of all learned that things aren't handed to you. You have to win. And that was a good lesson because it really took off. We went 31 games undefeated to start the season, and then we ended up capping it off by beating Sidney Crosby in the finals.
That's awesome. You mentioned Dale Hunter being an intimidator on the ice. I think one term we could not use to describe Rob Schremp is intimidator. According to what's the site we're on right now, Eagle?
DropYourGloves.com.
That's nice.
It's according to DropTheGloves.com. You got owned by Daryl Boyce, but you contend that is completely faulty. It says here he threw 15 punches, landed 12. You threw 2.
It's such a crock. That's a crock.
But my favorite
I can't believe that's reported that way. It's totally false. I'm gonna call. Like, I'm almost tempted to get Steve Ludwig can't track that video down because that is. I mean, I can't say that I won the fight at all. I don't think I even really knew what I was doing, but it definitely was not even a either way win. It was not.
How did you start the fight?
Well, the fight started I don't know how the game was going, but they took the face off right in front of our bench, took the draw, and Daryl Boyce spears me right in not spears me, but as a center, he comes right up under my cup. And I'm like, what? I look over the ref, and he doesn't do anything. I look at him, and I cross-check Boyce to get his hands away from me. And he does it again. He did it twice. He right under my, in my junk, it hurt. And then my coach out of nowhere goes, Steve Ludwig was like, the ref, because I looked at the ref again. The ref wasn't going to call. I don't know why he was not calling this guy shoving his stick up my balls, but he wasn't calling it. So then the coach was like, screw it, just go, Trippy. So I'm like, screw it. And I end up fighting Daryl Boyce. I mean, none of us really landed punches. I remember throwing, trying to throw my best, and I remember switching at one point, trying to throw lefts, and that's what I was the most proud of because we had this tough guy, Wes Rippon. He was nails. He was so tough. One of the pound for pound toughest guys I've ever played with, he was in the locker room.
So I love some of the commentary. I'm reading the site here as you're talking. And Schremp rails one of the majors. Rails one of the majors players. Boys didn't like it, so he goes after Schremp. They drop the gloves.
Yeah.
And Boy starts throwing bombs.
It's not even how it happened. It's not even how it happened.
At the bottom it says Schremp cheap shots a player, not sure who, and then decides to mouth to Boyce, and then there's no refs, and they drop him.
And they both say Daryl Boyce win by KO.
Win by KO. And one says there's only 4 shots landed. And then it says blood a lot. So. I tried to look for the fight on hockeyfights.com. I thought they had all of them, but I guess they didn't have that one. We should find it. We'll get the Eagles.
I will. I think I'm on. I will see if Steve Ludwig.
Yeah, if you can get that, we'll definitely air it. We'll definitely air it on the show.
I mean, even if I get the video, I can't say that I want. I'm not. This is not a championship fight. This is not a. Shit. This is not a Bugard and Trevor Gilly. This is not anything like
it's
that.
Not a full tilt,
But yeah, no, this is very much featherweight scrap.
So now that you've done your fighting career, you've done your hockey career as well. You decided to hang up your skates. What are you into now? What are you doing in terms of you told me you have a business. What's your business about?
Yeah, so I got involved with a cannabis oil company, CBD oil company. The name of it's Veda Sport. I had some issues with concussions from hockey, and I just had some issues with anxiety, and also I had some, I've had a battle with depression my whole life. So it's something I deal with on a daily basis, and I got on the CBD oil product Veda, and it just really helped me balance out a lot of my stuff, settle down. I was having a really hard time sleeping. I was having anxiety attacks every other day, which were really kind of freaking me out. So once I started taking this product, it really helped me. I didn't have to take Xanax anymore. I don't take sleeping pills anymore. These are all things that I had to take to kind of play hockey. I wasn't sleeping at night, so I had to take sleep, which is not really a sustainable way to live. It's not. I don't.
Up after taking a pill.
It really 5 months of it in a row is just not. I'm not proud of that, but that's just how it works. Those sleeping pills for someone with anxiety like myself, I started to get scared to go to bed. So I would only sleep like an hour or two a night. And then trying to play pro hockey like that is not, you can't only sleep 2 hours and play pro hockey. It's impossible. I promise you.
Yeah.
You can't.
And I'm sure
you turn into a zombie. So
and I'm sure a lot of guys that don't have an education. I mean, nowadays I think it's more widely, I guess, commercial or widely known. Talked about. It's more respected. Bell. They have a whole Bell Let's Talk movement about mental health.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
there's a lot of
really
good things. Yeah.
There's a lot of cool things. It's really opening up. So this is another way to, I think being an athlete, just retiring myself, I know what's going on a little bit in the game. And I can say my example is a little excessive. Is I took, like I said, sleeping pills 5 months in a row. Maybe I'm a little excessive, but I understand that the sleeping pill thing is kind of part of the game, and it doesn't need to be. You know what I mean? There's certain things that go on to be at a high level athlete that a lot of these guys are. If you look at the contracts now in the NHL, like this guy's making $10, $11 million. You want to make sure your body's running on the proper stuff, and like make sure you're you're $11 million machine. Like you don't want to be putting in sleeping pills and muscle. If you don't have to, if there's something there that can replace that, I think it's smart to take a look at it. And that's what I'm trying to do and trying to help as I just got out of the game. So I understand what's still in the game, what the game could use, and some of these senses of recovery and helping guys not go towards addiction in some sense. Some of these opioid things it's not good. It's not just sports, it's everywhere. So they're out there and we're trying to help find something sustainable for society. If you take a look at our company, that's really what we want to do is reintroduce hemp back into society through the farms. And that's what our main goal is going forward in the future. So it's a really unique company. I'm really happy to be part of that going forward. Stepping away from hockey, I can bring something back to the game in a different way. Instead of being a coach or doing clinics, I would rather bring, like I said, this product back to the players and show them that there's other things besides sleepers and opioids and things like that are, they're dangerous. It's a slippery slope. I don't know. I'm happy I'm not taking sleepers every night anymore. I haven't taken a sleeper in a year. I haven't taken a Xanax in 6 months. I just don't. I'd rather not take pills. I'd rather be natural. And that's how I feel about it.
Of course.
And I know there's plenty of other guys out there that have, like, since I left the game, I really used my my retirement as a springboard to talk about mental health and try to advocate for that. As there was my situation with the game, leaving the game was a little bit dicey, not exactly the way I would have liked to gone out. Someday I'll tell that story. It's really kind of rugged. It's really raw still, so it's hard to talk about it, but I want to use, let people know that, how to, with mental health, people need to know that there's people to support them and that they can, whatever things are happening, you can talk or have a team in some sort. So we're really helping people with that with our company. We have a foundation called the Fight Like Me. And I'm using that to advocate for mental health. And I'm going to tell my story in some sense and hopefully people, helps people in any way possible.
We're joined by Rob Schremp, former NHL player of the Edmonton Oilers and of the New York Islanders,
the Long
Island Islanders.
A long resume. I know.
Damn
it.
We've been talking, of course, about his new company Vita. That's who he's representing today.
Vita Sport, yeah.
But I have to say, my first experience with Rob Schremp was electronic. Every time I bought any copy of NHL, I would play with the Islanders and always trade Rob Schremp for a whole bunch of largely computer-generated prospects. So it's a backhand compliment because I got a lot of prospects for you, Rob. You're worth a lot in those video games.
Good.
But the
I'm
thing
a prospect generator.
The thing that people don't know about Rob Schremp is the reason why he was able to get so many prospects is how many guys are tough enough to eat raw hot dogs.
That's it.
So there's a story about you with raw hot dogs. Do you want to fill us in?
I used to, I had a thing with hot dogs when I was younger, man. It was crazy. Actually, I got kicked off a team in Quebec. They decided not to have me on the team because they felt like I was undisciplined because I ate hot dogs. I mean, I really loved eating hot dogs. The big thing about me when eating hot dogs when I was younger is that you could buy a pack of them for like $3 or $4. So, I mean, it was the cheapest way to get a bunch of food, right? And we were in a well-off family. So at one time I went to this training camp for the Outlaws, and I was eating hot dogs, and I remember the lady on the team, I think it was the coach's wife, was kind of gave me a little bit of crap, was like, you shouldn't be eating hot dogs. And I was like, You tell me how to eat hot dogs. So I just went and ate more hot dogs. This is how the story of me being like a hot dog eater got around, And then also like me and Matt Lashoff, we didn't live too far from each other in New York, so we would carpool a lot. And his dad, Bob Lashoff, we'd be smashing raw hot dogs on the way to games, and like even Matt was looking at us like, "What the hell's wrong with you two?" And Matt's old man's like this big lumberjack guy, really soft spoken, great dude. If you talk to Eric Ross, he'll tell you. And Dave knows him well. So, anyways, Bob would just big slicked hair, lumberjack, wearing like the long johns and suspenders, and cool dude. Me and him would just be driving the car eating raw hot dogs.
Speaking of
fun.
Speaking of Matt Lashoff, you guys both got drafted in the first round, right? Of that 2004 year. He got drafted by Boston. You got drafted by Edmonton. What was it like, that whole draft process? The way, because you had dropped actually a few picks, I would say.
Yeah, it was tough for me, to be honest with you. I was a kid at that time, and a very cocky kid. It was tough for me to take that because I was ranked higher, and a lot of people were. I think a little bit of it happened just the rumors around the draft and stuff. I just kept sliding, and it was. I'm a very competitive person, so to be like slipping, I felt like I was losing. You know what I mean? At that age, you're all competitive with each other. So by slipping down, I felt like I was losing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that was frustrating. It was hard to take. I was visibly pissed off. Like I really was upset. It was hard to take. Anyways, I remember I had an interview right after I got drafted. And I just remember saying something like, well, because they even like teed me up perfectly. They're like, "How do you feel about slipping in the draft?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I did slip in the draft." And I said, "I guess I got a lot of people to prove wrong, and I can't wait to shove it up there. You know what?"
Well, we found a we found a thread from a Hockey Board's forum from 2016 that said, "Was Rob Schremp given a fair chance in the NHL?" And the top post reads, "He always came across like a smug kid whose ego was greatly inflated by press clippings. When it came time to play against men, he either didn't have it, couldn't rise to it, or didn't care." So the post says you weren't fairly treated, and then goes on to mischaracterize you once again.
Yeah.
What does it say? I don't understand about the mischaracterization.
It basically says at the beginning that why weren't you given a fair chance, and then it says that because you kind of had a bad attitude. So it kind of flip flops a bit. It kind of goes against itself.
I always had that. So I had that attitude thing since I was like 14 years old. I remember it was like the Red Line Report. They started calling me like a coach killer and stuff. So I had the same coach, John Walsh, who's actually still one of my best family friends to this day. So this report, I don't know if you guys remember that, it was called the Red Line Report. So they wrote about it, and they called me like a coach killer, and that just stuck with me. Everywhere. Every time they wrote an article, I'm telling you, do the research. Like when I was like 14, 15, there's press clippings. There was always a mention of my attitude in it, which was just so, I never had an attitude issue. The coaches I had in the Syracuse Stars were Don Kernan and John Walsh. Like you could call those guys still today. They would have nice things to say about me. Never say that I was a coach. So that really stuck, and and then I would always get that in my interviews, and it made me defensive. Like that pissed me off. They would ask me, I don't understand how I got tagged with this. Then it's like, what do you mean I got an attitude problem? So then you get defensive, right? Like right away, I'm like, why do I have an attitude? Like, what are you talking about?
As a kid, you don't understand why everybody's against you, right?
Yeah, I was like 15, 16 years old. People are like, why do you have a bad attitude? I'm like, I don't have a bad attitude. You have a bad attitude.
Yeah.
One of the most
That's not the right way to answer it, but as a 16 or 17-year-old kid, obviously I know that as a 32-year-old man.
One of the more public guys to criticize you was Craig McTavish. Who's most notable for playing without a helmet. Maybe he needs Vita to hook him up with some CBD to get his head on right.
Craig McTavish is weird because he always looked like the oldest guy at the beginning of his career, and then he looked like the youngest guy at the end of his career.
Yeah,
he was the last person to not wear a helmet in the NHL.
Exactly.
No dome for McTavish.
No dome. Hey Becky, no dome.
He is.
Yeah, no, he just didn't really like the guy. I guess he didn't really like the player. It is what it is. So sometimes those happen, and the coach is not his choice. There's scouts and there's general managers that want to take players. And I think in this case, it just was one of those cases where, maybe I don't think I fit where his game plan was, but I was at that point in the draft where they almost were like, I was supposed to be a top 10, right? And at top 10, I'm at 25. They're like, how do you not take a top 10 at 25? So they took me because maybe I was there. I'm only guessing. I don't really know. But
you're way past that.
Because, I only played 7 games in 3 years. So it's pretty obvious that I wasn't a fit to somebody.
You had a
You're
decent
just
career.
looking at the numbers.
You had a decent career with the Islanders, and then you went on to Europe. You had a decent career there as well. You decided to call it quits. I think you, honestly, from talking to you, we respect you a lot. We don't think you have a bad attitude at all. We actually love your attitude. I mean, that's just the way you are.
I appreciate it.
Oh, and
Thank you.
So you played in the KHL. We all know the rinky-dink transportation systems that Russia has. Well, you played in. I think you played for. It wasn't in Russia. You played in. It was in. Was it Austria?
Latvia.
Latvia. That's it. So you played in Latvia. What are the airplanes like in the crappy ass buses that you had to take to go from city to city?
Yeah, no, it was. The planes were a little bit rugged. Not comfortable, to be honest with you. Some of the flights were really uncomfortable. Just seeing, like, the one time we got on the plane, I remember being on, like, a couple flights in North America where there's, like, one of those small little planes you're getting on. There's only 10 people, and they ask, like, 2 or 3 people to move so that the weight's okay. That's over here. So then in Russia, we go, like, one of the first trips, they started packing the bags. We had a charter flight, but it wasn't like this is not like the NHL charter. It was a very unique charter. So they started, like, bringing bags onto the plane, like carrying to the back of the plane. They bring them like 10 or 12 bags. And I'm thinking in my head, like, this is not a big plane. And like I just told you, I remember these scenarios where they're asking 2 and 3 people on it. We had 25 people on this flight. So 25 people and then 10 bags sitting at the back of the flight. I was like freaking out. I'm like, how are we ever going to get off?
Yeah, exactly.
I paranoia. We ended up getting off. Nothing happened, but like right away, you're already nervous because the year before, Locomotive had a plane crash.
Yeah,
we were all. I know everybody was on. It was really edgy. I was like, every flight was like, geez, like.
Hopefully nothing happens.
Cross your fingers. I mean, I really signed up for rush, like, pun intended, but for roulette here.
Yeah. We're running a little short on time, so we're just gonna ask one last quick question. What was a better meal plan for Rob Schremp, the raw hot dogs or whatever they gave you in the KHL?
Well, dude, when we got into KHL, there was a couple times I went to cut into the chicken breast. It was raw chicken. I swear to not. It was like medium rare chicken. So I think the raw hot dogs is definitely the play. You can't go wrong with raw hot dogs. But raw chicken, you're playing.
I've eaten a few raw hot dogs in my life, man. Honestly,
come on, they're so processed. Like you're
listen,
fine.
Yeah,
raw
fine,
hot
man.
dogs are not.
All it is
they're mostly salt. So
that's pretty much it.
It's salt and butthole all in one.
It's the same exact health benefit or disbenefit, and if you eat it cooked.
Yeah,
because it's just warming it up.
No
basically.
difference.
Yeah,
exactly.
no difference at all.
So that was Rob Schremp again. Played in the NHL with the Edmonton Oilers, with the
most
New York
importantly,
Islanders.
played with the Montreal Mission. For the
Yeah,
Ross.
absolutely.
There, that's the most important.
Of course.
That's where it all started. Was with those beauties when they started Mission hockey in Quebec. I spent a ton of time in Montreal and then all those places in Quebec. We had a great time and traveled a lot of time in Quebec.
We have a lot of stories.
We got to get you on to talk about some of your stories in Montreal and Quebec, because I'm sure you were charming to the soccer moms in Long Island, but I want to get your Montreal stories.
Yeah, because we know how the Montreal women are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not soccer moms.
Not soccer moms, absolutely.
Thank you for joining us. Of course, remember Vita, they're doing some great work.
Vitasport.
Vitasport.com. I actually looked into it last night. Super interesting.
I made an order.
Definitely, you guys are preaching to the choir. You're on the right show, Rob. Thank you so much for coming on, and glad to see all the work you've done off the ice. And definitely, like I said, you got me all those prospects, so I'm eternally grateful.
That's it. And you
No
got me,
problem,
and
man.
you got me a lot of stories, knowing you through a couple of friends, and we thank you for coming on, buddy.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking again.
Great.
And you can subscribe. Yeah, you can always subscribe.
They get the shows, then they choose to listen to it or
subscribe
not.
on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and then follow us at Hot Sauce Sports on every social media.
No one, you can't be oversubscribed because that's not a word.
Exactly. So subscribe just the right amount of time.
Be a word. Welcome everyone. You're back. This is Hot Sauce Sports with Terry Tam, my co-host, partner in crime, as well as our production team, Eagle and Duke.
What's up, boys?
We're getting into the remaining topics of the week after that awesome interview with Rob Schremp. That dude's awesome, man.
Oh, it was amazing.
That was so much fun. Hockey players very rarely open up and talk to us about anything that's of particular interest, but man, was he great.
Yeah, he spoke about his company, and he spoke about how the benefits that he had.
The jerk Daryl Boyce.
Yeah, what he had to go through with his anxiety, and he talked about his only fight in his career, and he went on a bit about that. So I'm like, I loved it, man. Honestly, I want to have him on again. I want to have him on every week.
Yeah.
If we can.
What? We should have him move in with us.
That's it. I'm right here, man. There's an extra spot right here.
Seriously, we'll get a place.
But,
me and you, Terry, we'll get a place. We'll get a triple bunk bed. Me, you, Rob Schremp. Nothing but raw hot dogs.
And we'll have
triple bunk, baby.
Thanks for including us, guys.
No, triple bunk, talent only.
Yeah, you guys get talent only.
All right, let's get the rapid fire. What you got for us, Duke?
All right, boys. So this week we have 6 headlines. I'm going to go nice and quick. Headline number 6.
Like you like it.
All right. Coach Carousel NFL. Brian Flores, Zach Taylor.
So, Dolphins signed a linebacker coach.
Yes.
I guess they needed a linebacker coach.
Well, to be fair, since the retirement of Zach Thomas, there hasn't been a single player who's been able to make a tackle. Eagle, do you have the sound clip
you guys had
on
Kiki
Brian
Alonso.
Flores? I'm sorry?
Kiko.
Yeah, and Kiko couldn't cover anyone.
So he's a good tackler.
Yes, he did one thing.
He just couldn't tackle anybody
Although
in space.
he looked great, he looked menacing with a cast on. He wasn't great with 2 hands, but with one hand,
I've always liked
he
him.
was
I always thought he
incredible.
was a good player.
Eagle, you got that sound clip going?
Yeah, it's coming up. I got that match.
So no.
Right.
And Zach Taylor going to the Bengals. I'm curious about which one of these 2 coaches will give us the most cliches, because we're gonna hear Brian Flores' press conference. It's awesome. It's just he rattles them off like he's a fucking machine.
He rattles off like a hockey player in the intermission interview.
Yeah.
Well, keep our sticks tight.
Eagle, anytime.
You guys ever noticed that?
To trust one another.
2.
To believe in one another.
3.
To practice.
4. You have to think about that one.
And prepare
5.
at a high level.
Oh, high level 6.
Then you'll win ball games.
That's how you win.
I believe that.
2 and 7.
Say nothing next time.
I think there's some
say nothing all the time.
Fundamentally,
that's what he just did.
That we're gonna want to do from as a team, and we're gonna want to play physical.
Play physical.
We're not gonna turn the ball over.
Fuck, man.
Don't turn the ball over.
Those are culture points that you guys hear every week.
But some trouble there, Duke.
Whether it's a young team, old team, I think at the core of it, it's about getting 11 guys on the same page.
What are we? 10?
Those guys got to work together.
Double digits.
11 guys.
And as a coaching staff, you got to get the coaching staff on the same page. You got to get the entire organization on the same page.
Same page.
Only as
Keep
strong
everyone
as
on the
your
same
weakest
page.
link.
Only strong as weakest link. 12, Terry.
Specifically in football.
What if you're a slow reader?
If there's a fracture in one place, that could be the difference between getting 4th and 1 and not getting
13.
4th and 1. I truly believe that.
There we go. He went Dan
well.
Marino deep. He went 13 straight. Cliches. That was awesome. I am already depressed. Next one.
Hitting a wall. John Wall.
So John Wall ruptures Achilles tendon.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say what that
at home.
Yeah.
No, it's I wonder if it's the same kind of at home that Andrew Luck did while snowboarding, and the team kind of hid it from the press so that they could still pay him out his salary, because they
were
could
nice
actually
enough,
break the contract if
Yeah.
it happened
was
doing something
unrelated,
he shouldn't be doing.
I mean, I guess freak accidents happen all the time, but very unlikely that it happened while he was just walking around the house.
Now here's the thing though, so Andrew Luck, I know he tore up his shoulder doing something he shouldn't have. John Wall, we don't know how it happened necessarily, but it's his Achilles. Now we've seen Boogie Cousins recover from a We've
seen Kobe Bryant
from an Achilles injury. Same with Kobe Bryant, but a lot of times it's been a death sentence in the
But it's
NBA.
also a death sentence for a guy that moves the way John Wall needs to move, right?
Because he came into the league as the most explosive player,
Of course, yeah.
and he's still up there as one of the most explosive players. I hope this doesn't hurt him further down the line. However, he definitely was butthurt by Juju Smith-Schuster. Just drawing attention to it, joking about it. So, look, all Juju said too was like, "So, what were you doing at your crib? What were you doing at home, man?
What were you doing at home, man?
How'd you hurt your Achilles? There was massive sex that dude must have been having to tear his Achilles.
He's probably trying the frog position. Trying to think of what position where he would rupture his Achilles. Duke, you would know.
Headline 8. Silver and gold.
So the Raiders, in the most Raiders thing ever, try to move to San Francisco to play out their 2019 season where they're hated. Similar to how the team got moved to Las Vegas, by the way, because Mark Davis didn't tell anyone he was trying to move the team to Las Vegas.
He wanted to go play in San Francisco?
So they don't have a home this season.
Yeah, I know that.
No.
So they're trying to play all their home games in San Francisco.
At Levi Stadium?
At Levi, at AT&T. Well, it was AT&T Park, Oracle Park.
So is the old Niners field?
No, where the Giants played, the San Francisco Giants.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Where Barry Bonds hit all of those steroid home runs into the water.
Exactly.
So they're trying to set up their games there. And similar to how they even got the team to Las Vegas, where they moved the team the NFL didn't approve, and then they had screwed up so badly that they had no choice but to move the team to Las Vegas. It's the same kind of thing where we don't have anywhere to play.
But
They
this
don't
is
have anywhere to play.
This is extra poorly thought out though, because
It's
anyone
really thought out.
with anyone that knows anything about both of these franchises, they hate each other.
Yeah.
San Francisco fans and Oakland fans.
Every time they play each other, there's a murder.
people get shot.
Yeah.
So why would you want to do your
Legit murder, not even like an accidental
Yeah.
trampling.
All I know is that Mark Davis is hoping that if they go to San Francisco, there's a barber that can get rid of those bangs.
Headline 9: When to Folsom?
Nick Foles expected. He paid his $2 million buyout to be released to opt out of the contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the most expected thing.
Yeah, smart by him too. He knows he's gonna get a good offer somewhere else.
So when he takes a meeting, is he just because we know the nickname, Big Dick Nick? Is he just dropping it on the table in front of John?
I mean,
Elway?
I don't know why.
He's like, what's Case Keenum packing? Because I'll show you what I'm packing.
What?
So now where does he go?
I'm thinking Denver's got to sign somebody.
Denver.
It's got to be somebody.
He's like, let's take the other team that lost, that went to the
There's
NFC
also
Championship 2 years ago.
There's also Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay might be without a quarterback this season.
But why? Fitzmagic works.
Headline 10: Major changes. MLB.
The MLB, in trying to appeal to young people, have tried to speed up the game by adding a DH. Pitchers face a minimum of 3 batters. These are the proposed changes.
That's stupid.
Reduction of mound visits, pitch clock, new draft order that punishes losers. They call it the Expos draft.
That punishes losers?
Yeah. So if you're a perennial loser, they reorder the draft so you get screwed.
Okay, I mean,
and also they're trying to incentivize 2-sport athletes. They're calling it the Kyler Murray rule.
Incentivize them.
Yeah, they're like, by the way, there's still no cap. So you can still be rich.
So
AF.
whenever you try to be more young person friendly, you fail miserably.
Yeah.
And this is what's happening.
And it's like, that's the thing, is that's your uncle telling you he's hip and cool.
It's
Right?
it.
So
It's like your uncle talking about how his old wrestling career in high school was good.
honestly, can you imagine like with the display look like on the screen with like a pitch clock, the amount of like mound visits available,
the minimum
amount of
3 batters,
minimum batters for face.
The minimum 3 batters, I don't mind actually. That's a good one.
What else can they do? Honestly, I think getting rid of umpires is the best thing.
Why?
Because they're wrong all the time, and tennis has already replaced the umpire.
There's so many umpires in a baseball game, and they make so many mistakes.
Yeah.
Because the game goes by so fast, and it's like you're keeping an eye on the
And they're
ball
all 90.
and the foot.
They're all
and
90 years
old.
Yeah.
And tired because they carved up all day, and they're falling asleep at 7 o'clock at night. They want to take their nap.
Lastly, Vince Young.
This one kind of
VY.
hurt. Yeah, his second DWI in Texas. Now, how fucked up do you need to be to get a DWI in Texas, of all places?
What's W? Wild? Intoxicated?
Yeah, because yes, that's what they call it in Texas, man. Here it's DUI. There's
Okay,
DWI.
I always thought DWI meant just weed, like because the W.
Well, I think that they
Driving weed intoxicated. Which the guy that wrote that was weed intoxicated.
His car was pulled over. He had his hazards on, but he was in a lane.
These guys, these pro athletes, man, especially football players, is that they don't know what to do when they're done. And he tried to make a career in the CFL, and times are rough for Vince Young. He was the number 1 guy coming out of college, like there was no doubt. He probably out of those 3 guys that draft year, it was him, Ben Roethlisberger, and was it him, Jay Cutler, and Carson Palmer?
No, it was not Carson. It was the dude.
Matt Leinart. And I knew he was out of USC. So I mean, he won a national championship, and then he gets in the NFL, and he had a decent career with the Titans at first, and then didn't work out. So it's a little sad. I think he's just down on his luck, and hopefully he gets out of it.
And that's it. That's it for the rapid.
You're still
topics.
up though. You have now the hot bets.
Right. So we have
Who's producing the show?
we have 3 bets that are going on this weekend. I try to diverse it as much as possible. So
Diversify.
I want to keep a running total of the words Duke gets wrong during a show,
We should
and then add an addendum.
We should put them all up here, and every time he fucks up, we put it. So diverse. I want to diverse it.
Let's diverse it. Let's diverse it up.
Let's go. Diverse up, my friend.
Bet number 1. Saturday, 7 p.m. Maple Leafs versus Les Montréal Canadiens.
Hey,
That's gonna be a good game.
That's gonna be a very good game.
Montreal has surpassed everyone's expectations, but give me Toronto with their new signee, Austin Matthews.
The new signing. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Leafs on this one.
You got it. Bet number 2. Prime time Saturday night, 9 p.m. Clippers, Celtics.
That's a nice one, actually.
Is it really?
Clippers just made a trade, no?
Yep.
They got Stanley Johnson?
They traded Tobias Harris.
No, Stanley Johnson was the other trade.
Tobias Harris went to the 76ers.
Oh, that's beautiful for the 76ers.
Agreed.
Do you feel like they're a better team?
Yeah, 100%. I think they're going to come out of the East now. I really do.
No, Toronto will still be there.
Nah, it's not going to happen.
Okay. They only have one of the top 5 players in the league. Again.
Yeah, but they don't have other players.
Correct. Also true.
No, they have Lowry. Lowry's not. So I'm going to go with the Clippers on this one.
I'm not going to the Clippers. I got to go with Boston.
All right, there you go.
Finally,
Gordon Hayward will still be useless, though.
Yeah.
Bet 3.
6-5.
Sunday, 11 a.m. Man City, Chelsea.
I just gagged a bit.
I mean, this is pretty degenerate.
I'm going to say Chelsea because as a Liverpool fan, I'm going for Chelsea to knock down Man City a little bit.
It's just hard to go against Man City, especially when there's no spread. I'm going to go Man City.
Yeah, it's a good bet.
That's it, boys. That's all I got.
Hey-o. That's all we got.
All right.
See you guys in 2 weeks.
Week 11's booked. It's true. You're gone next week.
I'm gone next week.
It'll be terrible. You've been listening to Hot Sauce Sports.